Generation Zero has just released one of the best updates that we've seen in quite a while. This is the Skyfire update, and it features a brand new Tyrant class of enemy, the Vulture. Alongside that, they've changed the Reaper to also a Tyrant class, and there's a brand new way to spawn these enemies in. Now, this one isn't based around chance like it was previously. It is much better, and it makes it much more streamlined if you want to go after one of these Tyrant class of enemies with no real worries about spawning in random enemies that are not what you want. As well as that, they've also added a new experimental weapon and, of course, a new DLC. It wouldn't be Generation Zero without a little weapon pack snuck in there, but I'm actually all for this one. So this update features loads of cool stuff. If you are a fan of GZ, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and stick around for much more Generation Zero. Over the next few days, we'll have guides on this future Tyrant, the Vulture. It is an absolute beast. How you can defeat it, the easiest way to spawn it, and all of that good stuff. So if you have any questions or theories or tips for other people, let us know down in the comments below. Now, they said, "Greetings, survivors. We're happy to celebrate the release of the Skyfire update together with you. For this update, we wanted to do something many players were asking for, and we took our time making the right decisions, refining and polishing to make it worth the wait, and now it's time to get into what you can expect." And I do agree, this is definitely worth the wait. As you can see, taking on the Vulture is loads and loads of fun. I've absolutely loved it, and the process of getting it as well. So this is a Soviet class. It's basically the Soviets' answer to the Reaper. It's an improved version of a Firebird, has been added to the pool of Tyrants you can fight for loot and glory. And for those confused about the terminology, Tyrants is the new name for boss level machines, which are the Reaper and the Vulture. We don't want to spoil the mechanics of the Vulture because it is absolutely insane. As you can see in the background, it is wicked. And it's not just the usual tanky enemy type that we're going up against now. It is a little bit more streamlined, and you do have to have a little bit more of a bounce about to you and have some decent weaponry in your arsenal, because this thing's going to take up a lot of meds and a lot of ammo. Now, when it comes to spawning it in and taking it on, overall, the whole process took me around about an hour to do. So spawning it in didn't take me too long at all. The longest part of doing that is the sort of base assault you have to do to get through to it. So they've reintroduced a Tyrant spawning sort of system now. It's not based on the actual threat level of an area and a region score and having them spawn in on the rivals system. Now, the rivals do play a massive part in it. Now, the team have said that the release of the Vulture was the perfect opportunity for them to overhaul the way spawning Tyrants works, and I love it. I did say it was frustrating because you end up getting different bits and bobs, and you have to avoid rivals and keep your region score high to get a Reaper, which could take hours and hours and hours. And they've changed that now. So now you are required to defeat the rivals in order to unlock a boss fight. And then you'll just have to go through again, rebuild those rivals to get the keys again to take on the boss. But this does mean if you've got enough keys, you'll be able to continually spawn these things in and have loads of fun whilst doing it. Now, the spawning of them is random. They could spawn anywhere on the map. They will spawn in the location that you've entered the base, from what I've seen so far. And how you actually get these guys is getting geologistics caches. Now, the higher tier and higher level the rival, the more caches you'll receive. So for Soviet machines, for the Lynx, I got 5 caches for a level 4. For the Firebird, I got between 50 and 70 for level 4s. And then for the other ones, the little rovers on tracks, the name completely misses me, I got between 20 and 30. And you need 200 of these caches to spawn in either a Reaper or a Vulture. Now, you will need to get Soviet caches from Soviet rival machines, and you will need to get Phoenix caches from Phoenix rival machines. So you have to take out, what, maybe 3-4 high-level rivals to actually get the tickets that you need. It's not a problem at all. The keys are really easy to get. So I'm not going to call them caches anymore for the video. They are called keys. I know they're called caches, but it's bloody annoying. I don't know why they didn't just call them keys. It does make things a lot simpler. But getting these keys is easy, simple. All you got to do is take out a rival. Even lower level rivals, you'll still get a decent chunk of keys from these guys. So it's not too much of an issue. Then once you've done that, what you will have to do is go to a base and assault that level 3 base, take out all the generators and enter a tunnel. Now this tunnel will bring you to a terminal that you can input those keys into, and then that will give you the location of a new Tyrant machine. So that is pretty damn cool, and it makes the replayability and the reason for spawning rivals much more feasible now. Beforehand, you were spawning the rivals just to keep them alive to spawn the Reaper. Now they serve a purpose, and you can have a claim map if you want one. Now, with this comes a new experimental weapon, the Messiah Hunting Rifle. You can get this rifle from defeating the new Tyrant class Vulture. All you've got to do is knock this guy out of the sky, and let me tell you, it's not easy, but this hunting rifle is 100% worth it. It fires a new ammo type, which produces a biochemical laser beam, and the longer you charge each shot, the more damage it deals. But if you do charge it for too long, it overloads, explodes, and sets you on fire. If you hit the sweet spot though, the rifle deals massive amounts of damage that will punch right through armor, and the experimental missile will only drop from the Vulture. The ammo uses a new crafting material called the Ultra Capacitor, which is acquired by recycling batteries, and the returns from recycling said batteries have now been rebalanced and requires a minimum battery batch of only 1. So crafting this ammo is good. You can also get it from the Vulture, but obviously it's going to take you a long time to get the Vulture, and from what I've got so far, I've only got 10 rounds. But one of these rounds is enough to take down a tank. It is a beast. Now, they've also done a whole host of machine perception fixes. Players feeling like the machines were detecting them when they weren't supposed to, and they've reduced the confusion and irritation during gameplay by having the machine sensors adjusted so they can't spot you through hedges, and if you're in combat and hide, machines will reposition themselves instead of trying to shoot through. This way you experience combat more intuitively, and we protect a lot of greenery from unnecessary damage. As well as that, the companion has also seen a little bit of love, with players getting a little bit annoyed about having to repair the armor back at the station, so it did make this companion a little bit less viable in the battlefield. But now, having the ability to actually repair the armor or throw a new set on it whilst on the go makes things a lot simpler, and having the companion more viable. The armor is still crafted at the companion station, but you can decide if you want to install them immediately or take them with you. And obviously they do have a weight limit to them, so you can't carry a ton. But if you do throw an armor kit that's already installed, the new armor will replace the old one, so don't waste it. They've also updated the loot feed and inventory UI, which I really love. The new screen on the right only displays the name and amount of items with a small preview and a rarity indicator. This will make it much easier to see what you've got off of enemies without having time wandering through your loot, and I do love it. Weapon pickups will also now be displayed in the center of your screen when you get a new one, which I do like that, but it's annoying because it's showing me weapons that I've already got, but they're not in my inventory. So it's showing me any weapon that I pick up that I don't have on me, which I think it should show you weapons that you've not picked up yet. I think that'd be the better way to go about it. But it's cool, and it looks a lot better. They've also changed a few things when it comes to the plunderer and the inventory UI, which does make it look a lot smoother. It's a lot easier on the eye now. I do love the look of it. It is much better than what it was before. They've also added 2 new augmentations, which you get for defeating tyrants. The final round, which increases the damage done by the last round in each magazine for a pistol, and a rapid reload, which increases your reload speed temporarily after destroying a machine. They're considering adding this to melee weapons if they show us a video of someone reloading a melee weapon, which, And of course, the new weapon pack, which has 4 new weapons to it, and it is $4.99, or if you're in the UK, £4.25. It's not expensive, but it features the N144 minigun, the MR6 grenade launcher, the Iron Condor pistol, and the RACS-12 shotgun. Now, these weapons are absolutely awesome. They're really cool. I've got them. I'm going to do a separate video on this. This will be probably tomorrow at this point, because I'm sweating my tits off in here, and it's already quite late. But very excited to test these out and have a bit of fun. There's also been a whole host of usual bug fixes, improvements, loads and loads of good stuff like that make the game run better, and I do feel like it runs better. My computer wasn't struggling as much as it used to, and there's been a few crash fixes in there as well, and I didn't crash at all tonight, so that's a good sign. I don't normally suffer with crashes, so I'm happy about that anyway, but very excited for the future. Hopefully they do continue with this Steam and add a few more little bits in there. We'll have to wait and see what the future holds for GZ though. For now though, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I've been Wired, you've been awesome, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.